Hi everyone, my name is Ban Yi. Nice to meet you virtually. I will be your instructor for this 6-week course, online course, to introduce you guys to the fundamentals of 3D modeling. I'm really excited to go on this journey with you all. So I will be introducing basic techniques and explaining it in different sections. So it will consist of 3D modeling using simple geometry blockouts, and texturing, simple rigging, UV mapping and retopology, lighting, and rendering. Yeah, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to make it to the first class. I had a emergency come up, but I'm glad to be recording this so that we can get each other, I can get you on speed. Yeah, and just a little bit about me. I'm an artist and writer. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. And yeah, I have been really developing a practice of 3D animation and digital fabrication over the past 3 years. And I taught myself 3D modeling, and I would say it's such an exciting field, and it encompasses so much possibility. And I'm really keen on learning through practice, so I think this course really will be the perfect segue into learning about the basic pipelines of 3D animation. Yeah, and what better than to do it with the simple goal of creating a finished character and a scene in mind. So now we're gonna get into the designing the character. So I don't know where you all are with the process of drawing and sketching, but that's even though everything is gonna be done in Blender, but this part, in using whatever drawing software that you prefer, we're gonna explore. So this will be key to designing the character, right? Getting the so what it's here you want to be thinking about, I want to take us through thinking about what you really want to create. What's something that excites you about this character that you're designing that doesn't previously exist. And so basically I did a little sketch here, and so we will be, for the character, we'll be working on creating a frontal view and a profile view. So this will be key to use as reference image to import into Blender. So I just did a simple sketch in Illustrator. So as you can see here, it's really not a finished piece. Throughout this process, the sketch will grow, but right now we're just going to focus on the basic shape of the body. So here, his head is off, but I'm imagining some kind of flowery, plant-inspired opening where his head would have been, and then these are the facial features that grew out of the body. And so yeah, and in a sketch we want to make sure that the height is the same, the whereabout so this will be important to getting the form right. So yeah, so the homework is I want each of you to finish a set of drawings based on a character that you're interested in creating, and then so I'm gonna redo this section for the demo, but basically this is a rough sketch that I did. Okay, so now I just opened up a default scene in Blender. Now press X to delete, and now we're going to, so in just a quick overview, I'm sure maybe some of you have watched tutorials already, but basic simple ways to navigate the viewport. Here's a viewport, and to tumble around, it's mouse middle key. So that will allow you to tumble around the scene. and then shift middle mouse click, that allows you to pan. So and then here if you click on X, this gives you the X axis view, and then the Z, that gives you the top view. I don't have a numpad installed, but on the numpad you can do like 1, 2, 3, but here I'm just going to be using this. So this is the left side view, this is the right side view, bottom view. So yeah, anyways. And then, yeah, and then here are the different sections like layout, modeling. Usually I just use layout when I'm modeling. And then sculpting, that's like a different, we'll go into that when we go into sculpting, and then I'll go into these different tabs later on. But right now we're just going to be, we're going to be using modeling. And then on the left side, these are the tools. So just like in Photoshop, you have like the tools are here, and then here like the menu also gives you options to edits, create edits, and then let's see. Okay, so to add the image, we can hit Shift A. So this is a shortcut that allows you to add geometry, whatever other inputs. So now we're going to be adding the image. So click on image. So this is going to be loading in reference image, like the sketch that I just talked about. Let's see. Actually, I didn't download the image. Okay, so let's see, where's my Illustrator file? Okay, here. So I'm just gonna save this. Export. Just export. Okay. Save as a simple JPEG. Okay, so what I find the easiest when loading it in, so we'll just go to the front view. And then load in the reference image. Now it's gonna be nice and centered. And then we hit Shift D, so that's to duplicate anything, and then release it, and then we just like G, so G is to move. So actually just do this, and then rotate it, so you get it rotated 90 degrees, and then here here's a section where you can set the parameters, more precise parameters for the transform. So basic manipulation in Blender is, or any 3D modeling is, so translation, that affects the location, and then rotation and scale. So we'll just set this to 180. Okay, so I'll just move this a little bit more to this side. Okay, so now you can see, so front view will get like, in the front view we'll work on this frontal section of it, and then in side view we'll work on the profile. Yeah, so now the reference section is set up. So we're just gonna go over using simple primitives to block out the shapes, and that's all we're gonna be doing today. And before we get into modeling the form, I'm just gonna go over the basics of geometry, if you don't already know. If we go here, you can add mesh, so you can add geometry here. A good keyboard shortcut to know is Shift A. So yeah, so basically here's a plane. It's a plane, you can move around, and then leave the plane. You can try adding a cube. So the basic geometry. And then, so this is, right now, it's in object mode. If we hit tab, you can also do it here, go into edit mode. So now we're in, we can edit the individual components of a geometry. And the most basic important things to know about geometry is one is vertex. So with the vertex, you can move the vertex around. So with a keyboard shortcut G, so that allows you to manipulate the points. And then second important component is edge. So if we hit, you can go here to go into edge, or you can hit number 2. So this allows you to go into edge mode. So again, you can move this around. And then with this, you can also rotate it. So rotation is here, or you can use a keyboard shortcut R. So you can rotate the form. So now it's like different, it's changed. And then the third component is, so if you go here, this allows you to select face. So select the face, again you can move it, rotate it, and then one manipulation that you can easily perform is extrude. So if you go over here, so on the left hand side, that's the tool that gives you the tools that to like perform additional manipulation with, in addition to rotation, translation, and scale. Of course, oh yeah, scale is another thing. So if you select this face and then hit S, so that's for scaling, S, so you can scale this down. If you go over here, this allows you to scale in more precise ways, right? So this is along the Y-axis, on the X-axis, Z. Yeah, and I was going to talk about extrude. So if you go over here, you can hit extrude region, and the keyboard shortcut is E. So now if you hit E, you can extrude it out. See? And it gives you an extra edge here. And then another thing that you can do is to add loop cut. So if you go over here, you hit loop cut, keyboard shortcut is Control R. Right, so this adds another loop along the edge that you've selected. So do this, and this essentially gives you more geometry to work with. So yeah, I think that goes over the basics. And then there's also things like inset face, where you can select a face. If you go inset face, this allows you to inset it. See? And now if you go additionally on extrude, it allows you to bring this out. So again, it's to create additional form. And then another thing that you can do is perform a bevel action. Bevel is here. So if you have like, go to the edge mode, which is number 2, remember? And then if you hit Alt and Shift, so this allows you to keep adding edges, right? If you wanted to select this whole loop, right? So select all of it, and then if you hit Bevel, see how this like it gives you additional edge. So this will come in handy. And then, yeah, so you see how this allows you to create kind of an interesting, more like hard edges. It'll come in handy with modeling more industrial forms like furniture, say like a computer monitor or anything like that. So yeah, okay, so we delete this, we go into creating the form. So for this lesson, we're just going to focus on blocking out the most basic shapes. So for whatever sketches that you import, don't worry about the details. It's really just going to be the basic silhouette that we're focused on right now. So if we go into front view, go to front view, we can select, and we try to add geometry. If you look at this form, the form of the human body is really, it's actually very cube-like. And with a cube, you can start to add geometry to the cube to make it more rounded. So I'll tell you how to do that. So if you want, okay. So if you remember the keyboard shortcut G, we can move it here, and then we can scale it down. Hit S to scale it down. And then here is a good opportunity to go into, so we can toggle, so X-ray mode. X-ray mode, so this allows you for the shape to be see-through. And then this is wireframe. If you hit this, it shows you the wireframe of the geometry. And then now, so we can now go into, so in order to add more geometry to it, like a really easy way, convenient way, is to add a modifier. So remember like what I was doing before with the cube, like adding edges, beveling, extruding. So that's a destructive edit. So whatever that you're doing, it can't, you can't really go back unless you do all the Control Z stuff. But modifier is a really good way to perform non-destructive edits. So I'll show you. So if you go into modifier, this is it's on the. Oh, I just realized that the screen recording wasn't showing this side of the software. This side of the interface. So yeah, what I was saying before. So in order to go into modifier, so this section it allows you to go through the different properties. So remember like this wrench icon here. So this takes you to the modifier panel. So you can click here to add a modifier. So the one that we're going to go to is subdivision surface. Okay, let me go back into regular. So this regular shading, just to show you, see how it added more geometry to the cube, but it added it in a way that is non-destructive. So what this means is that if you if you deleted it, the cube will go back to the original form. So this allows you to perform edits that are non-destructive and is a really good way to keep track of the things that you're doing. So yeah, okay. So again, add modifier, subdivision surface, and we're gonna. So this you can toggle this to edit the level. So if we go to 3. So this gives you ample geometry to work with for now. Okay, so and now we're gonna go back to wireframe mode, and then we're gonna go here, uncheck the optimal display up here, so that we can see the geometry. Okay, so now we can see through to the sketch underneath. Okay, so now we hit G to move it. We're just going to try to place it, we're going to break the torso down into 2 areas, right? Scale it down. And then, remember what I was talking to you before about edit mode? So hit tab to go into edit mode. So now you can see you can still edit the vertex, edge, and faces of the original cube geometry, and that will subsequently affect the subdivided surface underneath. So yeah, we're just gonna move. Okay, just going to hit 1, select the vertices, we're gonna move it up a little bit. Yeah, I mean this fits it pretty nicely. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into side view. Oh, side view is here. Oh, now we can see the drawing is, we need to move the drawing over in order to get this to overlap the profile view. So we're just gonna go over here. Let's see, is this the one? This is the one. So now we can move it over. No, I guess it's this one. That was edit mode. Okay, cool. So now if we zoom in, we can see that we're just gonna try to get the geometry to fit the profile, the shape of the profile that we created. Okay, so now go back to the cube, go into edit mode, and then we can select this vertex, move it up, move down. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just getting the rough shape of it. Gonna worry about the breasts later. Well, actually, maybe we can add. So now we can add in a loop cut here. See how that created additional areas for us to work with. So now we go select this vertex. We can bring it out. We add an additional loop cut here. Select this vertex. We can bring it in. Bring this one in. One more loop cut here. Okay. We're going to worry about the face later. So that will be in the second lesson that we do. We're going to go into faces more. Yeah, so we're just going to get the rough shape of it. Okay. Looks good, and now it looks like I have to move this over. So we're just going to be constantly toggling in between the frontal and side view. Oops, missed this one. Making sure it looks right. That's about right. Sometimes you can miss the vertex behind it, so you want to make sure to select both. Okay. Cool. Looks good enough. And then we're going to create a second geometry for the belly area. So now we're going to go into, again, add mesh, cube, scale it down, move it over. We add modifier, subdivision surface, go to 3. Again, uncheck this so we can see. We can scale it up. Okay. And then let's go into edit mode. It's okay if it's overlapping. We're going to fix that later. And then it looks like, okay, let's bring this up. Looks like here we want to add another loop cut here. Maybe another one here. Okay, so hit S to bring it in. Hit S on this as well. S to bring it in. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this up. Okay, I'm going to then go into side view. The front looks okay, and then we're just going to focus on the back side to bring it in. Yeah. And then we can toggle in between the wireframe mode and then the solid shaded view just to see what we have. Yeah, you can sort of see a shape is taking place. Again, move this over. Okay, cool. I think maybe we can add a loop cut here. Loop cut here. So back to wireframe mode, and we can now adjust this vertex right here. Bring it down. Okay, cool. This looks good. And now we're going to work on the legs. And with the legs, there's a nice mirroring option that we can do. Well, actually, I'll do that later. Okay, so add another cube. Scale it down. You're going to find that a lot of this process is going to be pretty repetitive. Once you get the gist of it. And here's another keyboard shortcut is Control-3. Or you can always just go into here and add to the subdivision. Okay. So I'm going to bring it up, scale it down. And I'm going to rotate it a bit. Actually, think it makes the most sense to go into edit mode. And those of you who've used Photoshop or whatever, A, because it stands for all. So you hit A, it'll select everything. So now if we rotate it, just to kind of match the direction of the legs a little bit, this will help. Scale it down a little bit more. Okay, cool. So now we can select the vertex underneath, right? We can hit extrude. So again, what I talked about before here, extrude region, you just hit E, and this will allow you to bring the geometry all the way down here. Okay, and then now we can add loop cuts here, here. Again, it is just performing actions to try to fit the geometry to your sketch. Don't worry so much about the overlap. One thing I should probably mention is to hit Control S. It looks like I didn't even save it. In case your work crashes. Very important to keep saving. So, character basic modeling. Blocking. Let's call it that. So in this way, you can really just block out the basic shape that we're looking for. Okay, we go into the side view. Okay. Get the butt. Actually, can sometimes look a little messy, so just toggle, try to see if it's looking okay. Toggle between the different shaded views. Okay. Okay, in this case it seems a little easier to do this. Okay. And see, because of the curve in the knee, that tells us that we need to put another loop cut there. Okay. I have this right now. This is, make sure we're only selecting this side. Okay. Bring this out. So again, it's like toggling in between the profile and side view. Sometimes things can get shifted around quite a bit as you're working. Cool, this looks good. And now we're going to add the calf. The one behind it. Okay, So now we can try to extrude this region again. We can go into area mode, select this, and then we can hit E to extrude. So once, and then again. So if you extrude twice, it'll perform a similar effect as the loop cut. Sometimes it's a little hard to see. So we'll just toggle in between these modes. Okay, going back to vertex mode. Bring this up. And whenever this looks too rounded, and you want it to be sharper, so that's an indication that we need to add another edge loop here. You can bring it down. I'll scale it in. There we go. Okay, now we go into the side view. Oops. Another loop cut here. See, so we'll bring it up. We scale it in, okay, and then move it back. Oops. Again, it's just really trying to get it to fit the shape that we created so far. Bring this down, hit S to scale it in. Looks like this part got kind of warped, so we'll try to fix. See, now you're getting the shape of the calf. And it looks like this part should come out a bit more. Yeah, we're not trying to be perfect. Again, we're just and then we can add another loop cut here. And then hit G to move it up, scale it in. See, now it makes it more precise. Okay, cool. This looks good. And we got the basic shape of a leg. Bring this down. So just bring this down. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so if we hit tab to go out of edit mode, we have this leg. It's in one piece. And now what we can do is we can mirror it. We will get to that later. Well, let's do the we'll block out the basic shape for the feet. I don't want us to get intimidated. The feet and the hands are difficult parts to model. So right now we're just really going to focus on the basic shapes. Again, basic is what we're going for. Okay, so hit Shift A. I'm gonna add another cube. Okay, let's scale it down. Bring it over here. Control 3. And then let's go back into wireframe mode. Actually, this. Now, hit tab to go into edit mode. Let's scale this in. So now clearly we need more loop cuts this way, and then also this way. Loop cut. Scale it in. And then add another loop cut here. So loop cuts really allows us to just manipulate the geometry more according to what we want. So because now you see a curve here, so that means that we need to add another loop cut here. Okay, cool. We hit S, scale it out, then bring this one in, bring this one in, actually this one I guess a bit more as well. And then go into profile view. Actually, profile. So, okay. So now, it looks like we need to extrude the front more this way. So, let's go here. So we'll hit 3 to get into face mode. We'll select all of these faces. Actually, extruded, they should be flush with each other, but it's okay. Okay, so just get it to about the length of the feet, actually. That's fine. Okay, so now go back into point vertex mode. I'm gonna bring this down. Watch. So all of this, scale down. I added a bit more, too much geometry like here, but it's okay. Select all of this, bring it in. Looks like we need additional loop cuts here in order to bring this part down. Maybe 2. Okay, cool. So just gonna select all of this, all of these vertices, hit G to bring it down. Okay. Front, oh, very flat. I think we imagine the basic shape of the feet. Should we go back? This part is narrower, so we just bring it in a bit more. Yeah, it's just very wide right now, so we'll bring it in. See, what this tells us is we need, in order to create the shape of the feet that you want, you also need a top view of the feet as a reference. We don't have that right now, so we're just going to eyeball it. But, yeah, it's... See, the front, the back of the feet is narrower. But yeah, we're not going to worry about details right now, right? It's just really the basic shape. Okay, cool. Now we're going to model this arm. We're going to perform a mirror operation on the leg. So there's a good way of doing it so that you don't have to just repeat it. So here we go. So in the same way that we modeled the leg, we're gonna do the same thing for the arm. Okay, so add cube, scale it down, bring it up. Okay, Control 3. Okay, and then go into edit mode. Select this face right here. So the same thing when you're extruding, you can select the face or the vertices. With the vertices, you just gotta make sure you select all of the vertices. Okay. Now we hit E, extrude it. Okay. Scale it down. Go back into wireframe mode. And then with this, select this face, and then we're gonna extrude it. So you see here, there's where like the forearm is at the widest. We need a loop cut here, where we just extrude it to this, to right here, and then we're gonna extrude it out more. Okay. So go back to vertex mode. We select all of this. We're gonna scale it out. In. I'm going to be adding quite a lot more loop cuts here. Okay. And then we can try, try using another operation. So if we know that we're going to need another loop cut here, we can select this edge. Right, select the edge, we hit Alt, that'll allow you to select the entire loop if it's a continuous loop. Okay, so now we can go to bevel. See how this is kind of does the same thing as yeah, it's the same thing as adding another loop cut. It's just another way of doing it. Okay, so now go into vertex mode. Oh, actually, edge mode. Select this with Alt, right? Alt, and then bring this out. Select this edge. We will scale it in. See how there's additional muscle here? It just means that we need to add more loop cuts here. So one here, we scale it out. So another one here, move it, scale it out. Add another loop cut here. Move it. Hit S to scale it down. Select all of these vertices. Move back a little bit. Okay, cool. Now let's go look at the side view. Ooh, that's a hard one. So in this instance, we need again, it's like as we had run into with the feet, we need a top-down view of the arm, which we don't have, but it's okay. Okay, so we're gonna look at the top view, just look at it, and we're going to just scale all of this in, because arm isn't that big. It's like crazy muscle building arms. looks like I shouldn't have selected all of it. So it's really just these ones in. This is an instance where it becomes a little bit hard to see with what we have, but we get the idea. Yeah, we can clean this up later, but this is just to demo, like, this is how you build the arm. And then it looks like, I just had to reopen the program because it crashed. And that's what happens sometimes. That's why you have to keep saving. Okay, so we're going to work on the hand. The arm looks a little whack right now, but it's something that we can work on later. Okay, so again, it's the same thing. Add another cube, scale it down. Okay. Scale it down. Hit Control 3 to go to subdivision mode, and then now we hit Tab, Edit. We can just bring this down. Oops, you have to turn on wireframe mode so the wireframe mode helps us select everything. So if it's not turned on, then sometimes you only select this side of the vertex and not the one on the other side. So you have to remember to do that. And then now if we hit A and select all the vertices, we can go right click. This takes us to additional menus. So there's like all the things, different things that you can do to the vertex. We hit subdivide, see how it gives us more, yeah, it's basically the same idea as adding two loop cuts, one along here and then another one along here. Okay. So just move this down. You can scale this one in. Okay. Scale this one in as well. You just like look at the basic shape of the hand. You can just like bring this in. I think for the context of today, we're running out of time, so I'm just gonna stop at that. We're going to go into more details in the next class with like adding the facial features onto the body, and then if you're doing a head, then sculpting, adding features to the head, and then like additional details to the fingers, to the hands and feet. But right now, we're happy with basic shapes. Yeah. Okay, so last thing that I'm going to talk about is mirroring. So we have like the basic shapes of the arm and the legs. It would be so much work to have to do this all over again. So now what we can do is select the object. I think we can mirror here, right? So this, again, like if you right click on any components, objects or vertices, edges, it'll take you to additional menus and tools. So if you hit mirror, let's see if X local works. No, it doesn't work. Cool. Okay, so it looks like it's Y local. So what we're gonna do is we're going to duplicate the arm. So duplicating, the shortcut for that is Shift D, remember? So I'm going to hit Shift D, hit Escape, because otherwise it'll just move with your arm. right? So it's already selected, and then with this one selected, we're going to mirror it. Let's try wide global. Okay, it doesn't matter. So now we're in the frontal view. We're just going to move it over to here. About. See, my drawing isn't exactly symmetrical, that's why. But it's okay, we can fix all of that later. So again, Shift-D, hit escape, go into mirror, we'll do wide global. Now we're just going to move this over here. Okay, so the same thing with the leg, Shift-D, mirror, and now we can just bring it over like so. Same thing, Shift-D, mirror, bring it over. Yeah, so we have now basically the basic shape of the body. It's very crude right now, but this will be the form that we'll be working off of throughout the rest of the class. I am really going over time, so so yeah, just to wrap up the assignment for this class. I would like you guys to make the reference drawing. So remember, the reference drawing is frontal and profile, and then learn to load it into Blender. And I would like you guys to practice what I talked about with manipulating, so importing a cube, right, and then manipulating the vertices, edges, faces, doing beveling, and using these tools, seeing what shapes you could create. And then using basic geometry, the method that I introduced, block out the basic shape for the body. I didn't talk about the neck and head, but it's the same thing. Head is more rounded, right? And the neck is cylindrical shape. So definitely play around with that, and I will see you in the next class. And then I will also send in some additional slots for office hours, so we can talk about the body models that you've created, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you.